going on, guys? So just wanted to go over this stuff that we did the day before yesterday and talk to y'all a little bit about it. It's good to see y'all. Um, Killer Look says, I want that Garrett, right? I mean, I don't know. Could this be the rabbit hole? That's the question I want to ask everybody. So let me see who's in here. Hey, what's up, Skilo? Glad you're listening. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff for sure. Pitbull Mama, I hope you start to feel better. I'm sorry you're feeling bad. Judy Johnson, Michelle Macklin, how you guys doing? So, what's up, cat lover? What'd y'all think about that the other day? Like I said, it's deep. It's a rabbit hole, but it's one of the only rabbit holes that I've been down so far that so many connections. You know, not just one either, multiple connections leading to you know, family members that are either through marriage. When I'm speaking through marriage, I'm saying from from Donwell's mom to who she married was William Goad to the Mocks. It's a big deal, I think. And I think that it's hard to just be dismissive about it till we get to the bottom. Now, am I saying it is 100% the rabbit hole and that's where the answers lie? No, I'm not. But it's worth exploring to the fullest extent. Allie will be back here in a minute. She had to go to the store. But she'll be back to join us here in just a few. Okay, creatively inspired by Denise. I can't see those on here. Let me see what your message was just now. I have to look on this other screen. And don't worry, I'm getting another screen. That way I can look at everything. She was talking about me on panel like I was even. Okay. Let me see. I wonder why it doesn't show me those messages when somebody. Oh, it's my emoji. Cool. Okay. Hey, Jill Gallinati, how are you doing? Well, we're going to get into this just a little bit. So hopefully, and there I go lagging. Hopefully it'll catch back up. Yeah, it is. All right. So that's what I'm going to do tonight. If you want to, I'm going to open the phone lines up so we can talk about it. And we're just going to go in to the details. So I guess this is a lot. So it's going to be a lot for me to try to go through it again. So, but I will. I've got it wrote down and I've got it other places. Let me find my little post-it notepad. Wherever that is, and we'll go over it. So it starts out with John Allen Biggins. Okay, he's the guy that just got, he was just arrested in Asheville, North Carolina. He is a former law enforcement, former corrections officer for Sullivan County. What's up, Kenny Lambert Jr.? How are you doing? Hey, Zigzag. Hey, Debbie Patrick. So it starts with him. That's where I started looking into everything. He has a family member, and what John Allen Biggins was arrested for was crimes against children, arranging to meet up with a 4-year-old child, but it was intercepted, and it was an agent he was speaking to, under the facade that it was a mother of a 4-year-old child trying to arrange a meeting. He was charged by the Department of Homeland Security for looking into him, for the things he was doing, and that's where he was charged federally. And the reason I had to take a break from this is it's a lot when you have to think about just these nasty people and what they're doing. That's why I had to take a break yesterday. It's too much. Gross. But so you have this dude who also has a family member named Zachary Gully. He's another RSO out of Hawkins County that was charged. They're related through a significant other partner. It's a female that has the same address as John Allen Biggins in Hawkins County, multiple ones. And that last name was Shepherd. Okay, and I want to give a shout out to Michelle After Dark for going over this stuff and kind of backing up what I was saying. Now we're going to be easy with this because I'm trying to not put a lot of names out there because we don't have any right to put their names out here until there is a unless it leads to something significant. But I did put the last name Shepherd, so that it's Shepherd Gully. That's the last names you want to look into with that. Okay. Yeah, she did. Cat Lover 33. She did. Michelle After Dark did exactly what I wanted people to do. Now, a lot of people are like, what's this have to do with anything? I said, I'm not saying 100% whether it ties to it or not, but I'm saying, fact check me, research it, see what you find. And she did. And I was so happy that she did because it's hard to go on these things and be so vague about it as to be careful not to put anybody's info out there. So this same Shepherd individual, this female, she had former addresses tied to Ogden, Utah, and to Twin Falls, Idaho. I don't know if that means anything or not. I don't know. So through the research, through the lines, that it ties to the Mock family. If you know who the Mock family is, that is Mary Sexton, who is the sister of Bill Goad, which is Don Will's stepdad, that lives directly behind them on Simpson Road. Her daughter's last name is Mock. And so it's so hard to do without being so vague. So it ties to the Mocks, Mauks, to the Mock family. Something that has always been very, 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 very eyebrow raising to me is why Don Sherfy Sr. made his appearance down there on that road that day and implied that he had inside information and pointing at Don and Candace pointing. Now, I'm not saying this doesn't lead to them one way or another to the parents, but I'm just saying I just found it weird that he showed up down there. He's been dating Christy Mock, who is Mary Sexton, rest in peace. She just passed away a few days before Summer's, I don't want to call it anniversary, but 1 year missing. She passed away then. The Mocks, there was a Mock. I didn't necessarily go to the Snake River thing that Michelle After Dark said. There was a Mock that had ties to the Snake River in Idaho. That's not really what tied me into thinking about the Mocks. I just see the Mocks showing up on the Gully's research on Zach Gully. You have a male with the last name Mock. Okay. Then you have to go on what I showed on the thumbnail. So you have, this is the reason I did this way. So you have Sherfy Sr., who is a former Sullivan County's reserve officer and corrections officer. You have for Sullivan County Sheriff's Office and Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. Now, I have an email from Sherfy Sr. that says, I had to leave working for Hawkins County Sheriff's Department due to threats by inmates and co-workers. Why are you getting threatened by co-workers? Those are sworn officers, whether it be corrections or road cops, investigators, whatever. You have ties to there. John Allen Biggins, ties to Washington, or not Washington County, but Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, and then Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. You have Randy Hass, corrections officer, Sullivan County Sheriff's Office. I don't know if he worked anywhere before. I haven't got to go that far yet. You have, now these are, I'm not saying Sherfy, he's not been convicted, Sherfy Sr., of anything or charged or accused of anything RSO related. But his son has. So you have that tie to these two other, to corrections officers. Does that mean anything? I don't know. You have Richard Chandler, comes from Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, transfers to Kingsport Police Department, where he's charged federally for RSO stuff. Big, these are coincidences. I don't believe in that many coincidences. You have a big underworld related to this kind of crimes. Why? I don't know. That's what we're getting into. That's why we're going down this rabbit hole. Something has constantly made, those sirens go off in my head when I see this stuff. That's the reason I've went down this rabbit hole so deep. Some just didn't sit right with me. And as I cannot stand to even think about these people like this, I have to suck it up and go down that hole to try to listen or try to find what we can find. Okay. There's a reason too, I believe. I tried to reach out to Sherfy Sr. I tried to get his thoughts and everything, but he didn't want to talk to me, but he immediately talked to Prayer Garden. But she and I was now on her interview, she calls and don't even tell him who she is, and he just pours it out there. If you haven't heard that interview she does with him, please go listen to it. You can watch it on our channel as we break down that interview, or you can go over there and listen to it. Either way. But there is a reason that he just starts unloading. And then he said, after 20 minutes into the phone call or some, approximately, I don't know the exact time into the phone call, he says, "Who'd you say you were again?" I'm like, "You're just, ready to give this information out to anybody and everybody?" It was just weird to me. So then we have his son tied with, or accused of, not convicted yet, of exploitation of a minor. Same kind of charges that Tass, that's what the charge is titled, or is labeled as, under that code section of the law. Okay. So it's, they have aggravated exploitation of a minor and exploitation of a minor. You have Frank Light that has those same charges. Randy Hass has those same charges. Sherfy Jr. has those same charges. And you have Richard Chandler has those same charges. How does Frank Light fit into the Sherfys? Well, Daniel Sherfy, who is Sherfy Sr.'s little brother, is best friends with Frank Light. You have that. Then what other connections do you have through all that? You have Jody Sue Brown taking up for Frank Light consistently. I never understood that. Why? I don't know, Jam 420, if it's a ring or not. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Okay. So let me pull this up so I say this accurately. Linda Helmet, I believe the same thing. There's no such thing as coincidence. Cami Burchett, I have a whiteboard right here that I write stuff on, but I need to pull it and try to have it hanging back here somewhere so we can write on it. It's true. So let me pull this up and let me make sure I'm reading this right. Okay. Now, I'm not even going to go into the details going as far as as far as the Ogden and Twin Springs, Idaho stuff yet. I still have a lot of work to do on that. Yeah, you also have Don Wells saying it's a lot bigger than what we think. Strange. Who has been the judge on these cases? Hair Gal says that's a good thing. That's a good thing to look into. I'll look and see. All right, so here's where people were asking about how Dudley could potentially have ties to this. I didn't know this until I found it a different way. So through the Mocks and the Trents, but so Dudley has ties through marriage or something to Bernard's. Now it's not the same Bernard's as Bernard's off Long Hollow Road. Okay. Um, just a heads up. Okay. Those Bernards are from Louisiana going way back. And I want to give a shout out to the person who also backed up this research. And when Allie read me that on Michelle After Dark, she knows who she is. Thank you. You're helping us a lot. We're trying to put this together. She's been working on this a long time. I just happened to be looking through John Allen Biggins stuff on Been Verified, and I found this stuff. We're going to get into some details, though. So you have those connections. You have the Mocks going through to the Trents. If we know who the Trents are, that's the Trents that are Carly Trent to her father, James Trent. Carly Trent was a missing child out Hawkins County in 2016 who was recovered. Agents lived on Long Hollow Road. Yes, there you go. Hatteras Lighthouse. Yes. Gullies have ties with Trents. Yes. Thank you. Y'all are on this. Y'all are already there. Thank you. Thank y'all for doing your research. That's all I asked. Oh, on Canva, that's what I use is Canva. So yeah, I'll definitely use that, Hair Gal. They have whiteboards as charts that you can make. Cool. Okay, well I'll do that. Thank you. So I have a better visual of. Now this was more of a Q&A. I want to open up the phone here in a minute. I want to get y'all's opinions on this stuff. Or I could open up a panel. Either way. The panel thing would probably be pretty good so we could all discuss it. Kay Watson, there's never too many. All these people are connected, whether it's connected to Summer. It's still scary. That's true. This needs to be brought out, whether it be Summer, whether it be Michael Vaughn, whether it be whatever it is. There's obviously a problem with these individuals getting into law enforcement. That's a big issue. Why there's so many of them coming out of law enforcement, corrections officers, Hawkins County, a lot of them, transferred out of Hawkins County. Why did Sherfy leave the sheriff's office? Why is his son involved in this stuff? Then it goes to even farther. You have these people, I didn't say it. Jody Sue said it, that there was, she tried to turn it in. I heard her do this cover up the other day about her saying that the rub off. And, I don't know anything specific about Andy, but this is what she said. The rub off from Andy to her son, speaking in, those kind of bad behaviors. Now, I don't know what that means at all. I have no idea. What's up, Prissy Penny Pitcher? I don't know what this means. But, we went over. Hold on, I don't understand why I'm lagging this much. Let me pull something up and let me fix this. Let me close this task manager. Daggone, it's running a lot. I got an idea. Hold on. I got this. See if that helps a little bit. Okay, am I still lagging? Now I caught it up. Good. We're back on point. Good. Okay. I'm trying to fix this stuff because I'm having a bad problem with it taking up all my bandwidth. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. Susie Q, he missed a lot. So we're just going over all the stuff that we're trying to put together. Can you get a quick recap? Okay, so all we're talking about is how John Allen Biggin, if you didn't catch the live from the other day, Michelle After Dark kind of verified that stuff. Here's a rundown if you're just coming in. So started looking at John Allen Biggin. John Allen Biggin charged, accused of crimes against children, ties to him, from him to Zach Gully, ties from Zach Gully to the Mocks to the Trents to Dudley. Could be full circle, could be nothing, don't know. Disclaimer, could be nothing, don't know. But could be something. You have now the tie. This is one thing I want to go back and recap on if you are just now watching and if you've been there the whole time. So that one connection to John Allen Biggins, the shepherd female, shepherd, however they spell it, or however they pronounce it. That one female who is either his significant other, spouse, girlfriend, wife, whatever she is. So I did a search into her emails. I don't know if this means anything. So the email went back to a witch coven at ZZ dot something, but it was Princess Lucifer was the email address. Princess Lucifer at witch coven dot something. Susie Q. So John Allen Biggins he's a former law enforcement for Sullivan County corrections officer. They just got charged. Thank you, Philip Pruitt. Appreciate that. All right. I don't know what that means about that email address. I'm just saying we've heard about all this evil stuff that potentially has been in Hawkins County, the surrounding areas, Greenville, Tennessee. There's been rumor of this undercurrent of some evil stuff going on around there. I don't know if that has ties to it. Now, that former address that John Allen Biggins and the shepherd female and her brother, who is a shepherd, former, I guess, Gully shepherd. I don't even know if it's her. I don't know if it's her brother, but it's a shepherd, near the same age, 30s. They had a former address in Burgoynesville, which is in Hawkins County. When you put in that address, it takes you to a little old shack looking thing, and in the window it says the Meadows, and it's only 30 minutes away from Beach Creek. Does that mean anything? I don't know. It probably doesn't. It was just weird. I'm like, is that confirmation that we're looking in the right place because it says the Meadows? I'm just saying, is that a sign? I don't know. 30 minutes away. Now, where the Meadows was in Washington County, Tennessee, in Jonesboro, where Don was working, that's called the Meadows too. It's 30 minutes away from Beach Creek. Go to figure. Everything has to be a block wall or something that makes it even harder to decipher through this information. I don't know. So you say I played the fifth. You say why Summer? Then that's the question. So those ties go to the Mocks, right? Christy Mock. That's what I said. Christy Mock, who is dating Sherfy Sr. Is this over the land? We have Mary Sexton that just passed away. Now, we heard Don from the get-go talk about, here's the speculation now. Make sure y'all get speculation. That's what we're doing right now. This is not anything. All of this is a rabbit hole. We're not saying now there is factual ties to people, but I'm not saying that this is anything or not. We're just putting the information out there. I was very hesitant before I did this to do this, but I felt like it was important. My stomach got in knots over this. Yes, the Meadows is a trailer park, Blue Moon, but it says the Meadows on this window. The Meadows trailer park. When you look at it from Google Maps, it says the Meadows from up above. I don't know what that means. I'm just like, what in the world? Anyway, so you have the mocks. Now you have Don talking about this property dispute between them. Do you remember when Don said he went up there to ask them when Summer went missing? He said, I went up there to go ask them if they had seen her or anything. And he said a redheaded female came out and said, you stay on your hill over there and we'll stay on ours. Get the hell out of here or something is what he said. Don't quote me on that. Why so hostile when a child is missing? Who would ever be like that when a child is missing? I don't know. Now you have Mary Sexton who passed away just a few days before the year-long date of Summer missing. I don't know if that has anything to do with this. Does that have anything to maybe being upset and for a land? I don't know. That's speculation. I don't know. This is the way my mind's working right now. Why were a set of the footprints now till law enforcement confirms it? Why were a set of those footprints up around there on Mary Sexton's property? That's where Summer scent, the dog's hit on Summer scent, was up there near a white trailer. Okay, or near a trailer on Mary Sexton's property. Why is that? Does that have anything to do with it? I don't know. Why did Sherfy make himself known? He's the only person out of that Ben Hill community and Simpson Road community back there who, besides Richard Gorley, who talked to, I think it was Bullhorn Betty, and was part of the search with the private investigators on this just very recent month and a half, 2 months ago, that search that they did. Besides him, Sherfy put himself out there and made himself known. Now, he threw a lot of curveballs at people by saying that I'm former law enforcement. I know this. They're guilty up there. They're guilty. Why else would you come down there and make yourself known and just have to point the finger? Now, we do know this too. And she is a mod and very respectful person to us on our channel who lives down in Beach Creek Lone Star community. She went down there and was just sitting on Ben Hill Road one evening, and Christy Mock, who is Sherfy's girlfriend, or was, I don't know if they're together now or not, she pulled up to the person we know very well down there and said, out of nowhere, didn't know her at all, pulled up to her, rolled her window down and started pointing the blame, said, do you know them people up there are guilty? What other reason? Why are they going out of their way to tell everybody this? Is that a throw off? I don't know. I don't know what it is. But then you have Sherfy Sr. saying that, first off, they don't know Don and Candace and they don't know them at all. But then in his interview with Prayer Garden says, Summer used to go lay on my girlfriend's lap during church. He even put specifically 4 rows back or 4 pews back, used to come lay on her lap during church. Well, right there, you know who Summer is. You've got ties to her. Then he puts ties to her by saying, after he says, oh, nobody could ever done nothing, but the boys and including Summer, his exact words, were seen multiple times. I had to get out and shoo them out of the road because they were down the middle of the road, unsupervised. He said, including Summer. He puts that out there. Now, we also know what? His son wasn't even questioned as of, well, allegedly. Now, we don't know what law enforcement, but the father of Sherfy Jr., Sherfy Sr. says in that same interview, they don't even think it's my son. He's not sure. He has the same name as me. If they thought he did anything, they'd have done talk to him. As 8 months in. Now, accused RSO, whose father lives 2 minutes away. I don't even think it's 2 minutes away. It's down Ben Hill and up Simpson Road, right around the corner. Like a minute property. Now you have his father living there. His son, he says, oh, he hasn't been there since late 2020, early 2021. Well, what is those dates? Your father's been down there. The only person that went to Sherfy Jr.'s defense on Sullivan County's post about the arrest of Sherfy Jr. was who? Christy Mock. Not even his mom or his dad. His dad's girlfriend, Christy Mock, is in defense of him. That happens May 20th, 2021. He is bailed out. Sherfy Jr. is bailed out of Sullivan County Jail. Yeah, that's right, Philip Pruitt. Same. That's true. Hold on, I'll try to answer y'all's questions. Let me get this part out. So, didn't you have May 20th is when he's arrested. 2021. That's a month, less than a month before Summer goes missing on June 15, 2021. He's bailed out May 21st on a $10,000 bail. $10,000 bail with a bondsman is $1,000. Or property bond, whatever. $1,000. He gets out. He's out. Now, he was arrested in Sullivan County on Muddy Creek Road, 8 minutes away from where Evelyn Boswell was found on her. Now, I'm not saying there's connections there. I'm just saying two biggest high-profile cases. You got Sherfy Sr. 2 minutes away from there. Junior living 8 minutes away from there. Does that mean anything? I don't know. They had the same court date, blah, 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 blah. Y'all know about that. Talked about it. So, in between May 21st, June 15th, where is he? Now, we know that he goes and stays with his dad because in that interview, after he's arrested, he says, Sherfy Sr. says this in the interview. He goes nowhere but to work, therapy, and to my house. Where does Sherfy Sr.'s property, where does he live? Reservoir Road. You know where Reservoir Road is? It's right up above. It's right close to Lone Star, Beach Creek, Ben Hill. You have Long Hollow and Reservoir that intersect. That's where another family that's included in this case that moved off 125 Ben Hill, well, part of the family. The maternal side of that family moves to that area too. Okay, so now I don't think so. No, was Sherfy Jr. and Megan Boswell in a relationship? I don't think so because she was dating a guy that owned the Chicken Shack. That's a whole weird case in itself. Stay tuned because Allie's going to break that down very soon. No, he was not. I plead the fifth. He was not on house arrest. They did not give him house arrest on release. He was allowed to go to work. Well, therapy. Okay, let me put it this way. let me look up some addresses real quick. It makes sense. Okay. If he's on house arrest, he's not going nowhere. You're accused of RSO where he's going to work. Now, if that's working with the public, I don't know. I don't believe so. And we've had people call and verify if he was, and I've heard that that's a big negative that he's not on house arrest. Unless he's on any kind of pretrial service or anything like that. No, with a bond that low of $1,000, I don't care if you've had a record or not. That's some serious charges. And he wasn't putting them out on no secret child P website. It was on Snapchat and Instagram. This dude was putting these images out there for anybody and everybody. Thank you, Patty Barnett. I'm trying so hard to get to the bottom of this. If things were different, I would have, this is what I wanted to do for a living growing up. But, situations changed. I went a different path, but I'm trying to do the right thing. I've been trying to do the right thing. And who wasn't charged? Kim Holmes. Let me see. Brazen, yeah. Let me make sure I'm keeping up with everybody. All right. Oh, okay. Don Jr. saying he wasn't charged yet, so they would put an ankle monitor on. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true, too. He's just accused yet right now. But I believe they've got a strong case on him due to the fact that they were very public about his arrest. Okay. Well, that actually works. Can't even Mountain Dew. That's funny. All right. Now, here, Gal, I got to be clear about this. So where Muddy Creek Road is, where he was charged at his mother's house, is Sullivan County. I don't know if they're going to go easy on him. Yeah, Brandy Davis. How are you? Yeah, Allie's coming back from the store. She'll be back in just a minute. I don't know what's going on here. Now, we know that Hass, his sentence, he got a 5-year sentence. I don't know how much he did of that. I think he is released now. But here's the thing with that. So to Jody Sue, you have ties to Frank Light from her to him. You have ties to Hass from her to him. Ask her about that. Now, if y'all saw, and I'll be completely 100 upfront about this. If you saw Jody Sue's community post, if you saw Jody Sue's community post a couple days ago or a day or so ago, I sent her a PayPal for $3, and I said, when are you going to tell the truth? Because the truth shall set you free. I said, you're starting to make Andrew look like Honest Abe. And that's what I said. I mean, it's the truth. Tell the truth. If there's anybody out there, I don't understand how she has the following when it is, you can see the changes in her story. What is she covering for? Who lies this much in a missing child's case? Things that are proven not by anybody else but her own mouth of her being deceptive. Saw that cold case, Crystal. I was like, oh man, when she posted that in the community post, I couldn't help it. You want to block everybody to where they can't get a message across to you. You want to block everybody. You don't want to have anybody that's adverse to what you're putting out there, Jody Sue. So I'm going to find some reason or some ability, some way to get through to you to ask a question. Tell the truth. Why are you not telling the truth? It's crazy. I don't know. Hey, Shauna Marks, good night. Sorry it's so late. I had to jump on here as fast as as soon as I was available to. Been a busy day. And I had to take a mental break from all this stuff for yesterday and everything. Cindy White says we own property there. Never knew that. Wow. Let me see what I've missed, guys. Try to go back and catch some of this stuff. Thank you. We're all made here. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, for real. Why didn't Hawkins County do anything, or even now? It's quite noticeable. I don't know. And, this is what I ask. So, to go back to, if you're not familiar with who Richard Chandler was, he was another one who got, this is from the news post from Times News. It said that he transferred to Port Police Department from Hawkins County with, I guess, with the utmost recommendations from Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. And if you're not familiar with who Richard Chandler is, he was the one that was on this thing called Dream Board on the internet that was for pedos, and is completely terrible, saying that they could have that it wasn't wrong, or they shouldn't be in trouble for having relations with infants, is what it said. Disgusting. But he was going and using other people's Wi-Fi's and businesses' Wi-Fi's connection to do, well, what the article said was to get his fix, is what the article said. He was also busted by federal government. But Randy Hass was also doing the same thing. He was doing, using Polly Bernard, Andy's mother's internet, to do the same thing. So if you saw the thumbnail, and that's not, I tried to put them all together, to just put the arrows together the best I could. And there's more. Like, that's just the top of the surface. There ain't no way that you have this tone or this many coming out of these sheriff's departments, and that there's not more of them. Why? There's more of them, and they're probably not all in law enforcement. You have the doctors that did Carly Trent's grape test, grape kit, remove the G out of grape, and you'll have what I'm talking about. He was convicted of SA on 2 teenage boys. These are people held in high regard. Hold on, man. Why is this doing this? I'm lagging again. Let me see if I can fix it one more time, guys. Give me just a second. I've even got an internet freeze on my... Okay, awesome. Something here is taking up a lot. Let me see if I can close some of these to see what's going on. I'm going to open up the phone lines here in just a second, and we're going to look into this. Okay, let me see if this helps it, guys. I'm closing out a lot. All right, see if this helps a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that caught it back up. Oh, I'm not lagging on your side. Hey, what's up, Dreamcatcher? So I was looking into things uh today. I was watching stuff on the Madeline McCain. Uh I think hold on, let me look, make sure I'm saying that right. Madeline McCann disappearance, and they were talking about a group of these pedos that had a group. Now this was worldwide of people, and it was called what was it called? Wonderland is what it was called. It was a group called Wonderland, and these people had pictures of children across the world from the internet that were either targets or potential, there's almost like a bounty that these people had on these children's head. Now, if these groups that go into the highest office of government, that go into the highest, and these are proven things that exist out there, guys. This ain't nothing that is, I mean, this is serious, and it's scary. It makes me fear because of my own children, and I'm speaking out about this publicly, and it's very nerve-wracking because it's real. But if these things exist with members of these groups being in the highest offices of government, is anybody safe? Is any child safe? What can we do? It's very, very disturbing. It's very, very disturbing. And I don't know. I don't know how you even begin to start to fight against this unless just being vocal and speaking out publicly. I have no idea. It's too much. Now, then you think. Now, I don't know if involves Summer, if this involves Michael Vaughn's case, if they're even connected, or if not. I'm not saying they are. I'm not saying they are not. I don't know. But what I am saying is, what would be the easiest kind of child to target? It would be children from either a broken home, a impoverished home, etc. You get my drift, right? What can we do to even stop this? Hey, Aaron Chase. Yeah, very true. Very true. We have, me and Allie have our own children, and it's disturbing. When you have people that are charged with this stuff, that are in charge, and are more or less guardians of your children when they're at school, because this doesn't just stop with law enforcement and doctors. It goes into the school systems. It goes into, the courthouses, the attorneys. It goes into guardian ad litem. It goes into foster care. It goes into every place that a child is not, is where parents are involved and where parents are not. It goes into every realm of where children are. Why is that? People say, well, how come they can't, they didn't catch this before they hired them? Because they've just not been in trouble before. They could have these sick problems or be involved with people that do these things. How do you screen for that unless they've had prior run-ins with stuff like this. Now, sometimes they have. Sometimes the way that sheriff's departments and things like that instead of making it public and about, say, an officer that's been accused by somebody of doing this, they don't make it public as to be a smear on the department's name. They let them go. And that former officer, whoever was let go or accused of this, just goes down the road to a few towns down or the next state over and gets a job at another department. So, I don't know how you stop this. Okay, I played the fifth. I'll go a little bit farther for this one for you. So, as I was trying to find John Allen Biggins, the corrections officer who was just arrested in Nashville for what I started talking about, which led me to find these connections. While looking into him, I saw that on July 15th of this year, a captain over the Criminal Investigations Unit in Washington County, Tennessee, which is Johnson City, the next city beside of Kingsport, Tri-Cities area, was charged not in Washington County, Tennessee, but in Sullivan County also. Oh, thank you, babe. What? Huh? Let me get this point across real quick. Hold on. But was charged in Sullivan County for attempted crimes against children. But he's also been accused of messing with a worker for children's the Department of Social Services and for the Children's Advocacy Center. Two separate things, two different women. Like, why are you messing with people and then children? And this is the guy that's over investigations for the Criminal Investigations Unit. Why? You gonna say hi?
Hi.
This is like the worst subject, is it not? And it's hard. It's hard to deep dive into this stuff, is it not?
Very much so.
It's mentally exhausting. It's terrible.
It's just so disturbing that I don't know.
Too much. Buttercup Baby says West Virginia foster care system is having a big shakeup after a trafficking ring found within the system and involving government funds. 13 missing kids from other states found in foster care.
What in the world?
See, this is where it needs reform. This is where there needs to be the deepest dive within departments, within schools, within courthouses, within every form of power or has to do with children, because they're going to, these people are probably going to run and nestle themselves into where they would be the least place that they would be looked at.
Yeah, Sharon, God, you can't let your kids go outside by themselves now. When I was little, my mom would let me go. I had a swing set outside, and they would let me go play on it, and she could see me from the window. But now you can't even do that.
No,
because it's scary.
You can't. So before I open the phone, I'm going to open this up. I want to turn the camera off because it'll save bandwidth. I want to get y'all's thoughts on that. Hold on a second. Yeah, this will probably help a lot if I turn the camera off. So here's the number. I'm going to put it down across the bottom. First off, if you have any info on Summer Wells, anything at all, if any of this information has struck something in your head that you feel like might be important in the recovery or information leading to what happened to Summer Wells, please call 1-800-TBI-FIND or Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at 423-272-4848. All right, now here's our call-in number. Give us a call right now. Tell us what you think about this info.
Music City Mom, that's something that stuck out to me too. The fact that Biggins was talking to what he believed to be a mother of a child that was willing to allow him to do that. Does that mean that there are mothers out there and parents in general out there that will allow that to happen? That's scary.
It is. Susan says, I can see how Pat you are came about. Oh, I'm thinking you're saying passionate. I believe, yeah. This is important stuff to me, and I feel like all these people need to go down for this stuff before any other child can be hurt, before any other child can be messed with, and they have to live a lifetime of just mental anguish or whatnot. Call in. So the number down at the bottom is, I want to get y'all's thoughts on this. I think it's important to know what you guys feel. That number's 202-455-4433. Let me make sure it's on over here. Yeah, they're open now. Call if you can. Let me see here. Make sure it is. It said forward. I hope it's. Let me know if anybody's tried to yet. Oh, just follow us on Facebook. Yeah, check us out over there. Eastman comes up a lot. Pink Vala says. Yeah, Miss Hippie, it is a lot of info to take in. Hey, Crack it asses. I'm glad my children are adults, but I sure worry about that too. Hey, did you get our email?
She did. She replied.
Okay, so anybody that won the merch on that live a while back, we ordered it and sent it out today. Finally. What she said, hi, Allie. I love a big gulp too.
I'm just gonna sit like this, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if this. She said, "Yeah, I got it. Thanks." If this is concern, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Somebody give us a call. Let us know what you think. If not, that's okay. Usually takes time before one will come in. I don't know if I messed it up when I tried to mess with the forwarding options in here.
No.
Might have.
No.
Let me see. Let me make sure I didn't. Incoming call options. Oh, okay. Switch link phones. No. Make sure I didn't mess up anything in here. It probably did, to be honest with you. I probably messed up something. Okay, now try it. If you try to call, I think that's what it was. And if you don't want to do that, I can open up the panel. People come up that way. Whatever way you want to. It's easier for you. Yeah, I mean, look, Patty Barnett, that's a very good point right there. She said women essay children too. They participate and they help cover it up. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, look at what with John Allen Biggins, with his whole situation there. He thought he was speaking to a mother.
That's what I was saying.
Of a 4-year-old child. So if the feds are portraying or acting like, then that's happening. And the feds are conducting investigations like that. So they must know that this is some just.
But the thing about it is, you don't hear about
there we go.
Mothers getting in trouble, and they better be getting in just as much trouble, if not more than.
Hey, this is Cam.
Hello, Cam.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. This is Dreamcatcher.
Oh, hi,
I
Dreamcatcher.
figured I'd be the first one to call you since nobody else is calling in.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
How you doing?
doing well. How are you?
I'm very, very passionate about this topic. I've been a child abuse advocate for about 23 years now,
Oh,
and
wow.
I've seen horrific things. And what you're talking about, most people, I post on my Facebook page all the time, and when I post stuff, people actually get upset because they just don't want to see it. They don't want to talk about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just don't want to even think about it. It's even out there. It's out there. It's right around us. It's our neighbors. It's people in churches. It's people in the schools.
Exactly. That's one thing I left out too, the churches thing with our Sunday. There was actually a church that we were going to. There was a church that me and Allie and the kids were going to for a while that they had an issue there, and we didn't find out about it till months of going into it, that when it was a Sunday school teacher that was involved with messing with children.
I know a church. It's not right here in my area, but it's about 80 miles from me. The pastor, people kept saying that he was molesting the children, and it went on for several years, and they finally found out that he was, and there was many, many kids involved in that. Now, it wasn't no ring or nothing, but it was the pastor doing it.
It's terrible.
And I took a lot of classes on this stuff, what to do to protect your kids. And I've always told people if they got kids that's in Sunday school, never have them in a class with this one teacher. Always make sure there's two teachers in the class, just to be safe.
Yeah, because that you need somebody in there that can hold each other accountable, and then,
Yeah, exactly.
People that probably don't know each other personally,
Yeah, because see, these Sunday school teachers and stuff, what people don't realize, they don't run background checks on them.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, and they should.
They don't have to be checked. They don't have to be checked or nothing. They just, put them in there, and take their word for them. They're good people, and you don't know what they're into, whether they're in these rings or what kind of organization they're in, in the churches, and that's a place, right around kids, and they could pick up any kid.
Exactly. And
it's so dangerous. And, like in classrooms, kids stay in a classroom, say other kids go out to recess. Maybe a teacher holds a kid back, for some reason. Well, you can't go out and play with the other kids. Well, see, there's a dangerous setup right there.
Who were you? People were asking in the chat who were the people that you were referring to that don't have to be checked, like Sunday school, stuff like that, churches.
Yeah. Like in churches, anybody in the church that's working with your children, they don't have to have no background check.
No, and they should. But the thing is with that too, a lot of these people and a lot of, if they haven't ever been in trouble for it before, there's nothing on the background to find. And
exactly.
And that's scary. And, with the officers though, like I was talking about with I found some, I did a live not too long back, and it was talking about how, sheriff's department, the number one leading crime in the whole nation for officers that get fired for breaking the law or get charged is SA crimes against children.
Exactly.
But
and if they don't have a record, they don't have a record. And it's not going to come up.
And the agency, if they don't want their this to be public and to be put out there on whoever, whatever sheriff's office or whatever it might be they work for, they don't want their name smeared, so they'll just let them go. And then they'll just go to the next town or whatever.
A lot of these officers, they get these kids to trust them, trust your police officers, and parents teach their kids.
Right.
Trust your police officers. That's what you teach your children.
Yep.
and you're really just putting them right in their hands.
Right.
But what else are you supposed to do? You can't say, well, hate a police officer, but you're putting them. You tell them, you're supposed to, when you need help, go to the police officer.
Right.
But some of them, they can't be trusted. But one thing, I'm guilty of, I post my grandkids' pics on Facebook.
Yep.
We was always taught in the classes we took, never post your child's pic on no kind of social media. That is a no-no.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what kind of crazy person's going to see it, who's out there.
Well,
get the kids' pic.
It's just if you think about it, it's just it's awful worse. It's like a directory or a menu board for these people out there.
Yeah.
Well, how many?
And like I said, I'm guilty of it because I want to brag on my grandkids and I post my grandkids.
We were for the longest time.
I'm guilty of it, and I know about it.
Pretty much every single one of
that
these
is
that
definitely a big no-no.
Yeah.
Not to do that.
What'd you say, Allie?
But I've had a lot of training in this stuff, and I've seen horrific things. Child abuse and stuff, and the SA, and just just stuff you just don't suspect where it can pop up. But churches is a big thing. It's a big, big thing.
Right, and how I found out about what had happened at that church that we were going to. It happened before we were going there, but it was out of I think it was by mistake that I found out about it. We were it was a prayer group on a Wednesday night. I was there, and they were praying over the church, and somebody brought it up to the pastor, and the pastor was really quick to try to shut it down, to not go into detail about it. And I was like, wait, what? I said he was a Sunday school teacher. And that, who knows if that was ever public? Who knows if people know that? I never knew the person's name. What church did they then go to after that? It might be right there in the top. Scary.
See, they can move on to another church.
Yeah. And nothing ever.
You don't know.
It's
but
disturbing.
These classes that the kids are in, there's no background check. On none of the churches, there's no check done on them. They just go in and, the classes for little kids and, little kids.
Right. And
it's just scary. I mean, it's really, really scary, and it just makes me sick to my stomach.
It does me too, and I'm glad you brought up the point that people don't like to hear it. They sneer, or they'll laugh, or make you sound like you're crazy because you talk about it.
I get posts on Facebook all the time. Don't be posting that stuff. We don't want to see it. The world's bad enough shape as it is, and I just tell them, I say, well, I'm a child abuse advocate. I'm going to post it. People need to open their eyes, and they need to see what's going on with kids. And, if you don't want to look, don't look. But you need to quit burying your head in the sand.
It's true.
Because it's out there.
The situation that happened to me when I was younger was due to, I think, where it wasn't talked about. People in this area thought, well, that doesn't happen. Everybody's, around here's got good morals and whatnot. My dad didn't know dropping me off and my brother off at that certain place with that guy that would ever happen, but it did. And when I talked about it for the first time to them, I got, they tried to make it out like I was lying to them. And
see that?
Yeah, that was hard.
That's what happens with a lot of kids.
Yeah,
and you know what? That's something else we was always told. If a kid comes up and tells you something like that, I always believe them, because children are not going to say stuff like that. It's always usually the truth.
That's right.
They don't just come up with it out of the blue.
I want to point out.
But now I've got 4 grandchildren, and 2 of them's going to school right now. Kindergarten and preschool. But we've started teaching them, about good touch and bad touch and all that.
Right.
And you have to start them young now. You have to.
You do, it's for sure. And Allie, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say, Katie B said, and I saw her first post or her first chat in there, she said that her church actually does do background checks on everybody.
Good.
So, yeah, that is a good thing. But then at the same time, you think about it, not all of these people are registered.
It's true.
So
that's true too. And I'm glad that church does, because they used to didn't. Now, they may have started doing that, but
and
they
it's
used to
probably
didn't do
just
background.
certain churches that do.
Yeah, certain churches
Yeah.
that do, because they're going to feel like they're going to turn people away if they tell them they have to have a background check and all that. Then they, you know, and plus background
But
checks
that's
cost
excellent
money.
that
And
they do.
Well,
But
lucky in
like
our
Allie
state.
said, you know, if they're not registered, they're not on the registry. And I live in a little old small area, and I always check a registry. And where I live, within a mile of me, there's 80-some people on the registry.
Golly, that's the same in our little town.
Within a mile around me.
Oh my gosh.
There's a website that I think we need to share with everybody where you can actually go and check it. Where you can go and check all registered ones that are around you.
Okay, what is that
it's
website?
Called familywatchdog.us.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Yeah, so guys, if you put it in the chat.
That's what I use.
Yeah, we're going to post this in the chat right here.
What you do is you go on there, for people who don't know about it. You go on there, you type in either your address or your city and state or your zip code, and it will pop up all people who are registered.
It's real easy.
The only thing that
it'll give you the exact street they live on, how close they are, the mileage from where you're at. It gives you everything around you.
So on ours,
it's really good.
It shows that there are 20 right around us that are mapped, but then there's another 29 that are unmapped. So that's scary.
Yeah, unmapped.
And it gives you also a little key to where you can see what their offense was. So you can see exactly who was, like, if it was against a child or anything like that. It's a really good website. And it'll also
give you the option to click on the picture too if you want to.
Yep. Thank you, Natasha. You need to call us. Been looking forward. I've been worried about you, Natasha. Yeah, that's.
But listen, Cam, I'll let you go. I just thought I'd call in. I'll let somebody else call in, but it's been good talking to you.
Good talking to you.
I wanted to call in and give you some of that information.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate it.
And I love y'all's show.
Oh, thank you.
Y'all have a good night, and I'll be watching.
You too. God bless.
And God bless y'all too.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, guys. So, yeah, this is another point I wanted to bring up too while we're on this is, you know, speaking about law enforcement, and it's not just corrections officers. Richard Chandler was a road cop, and he, you know, think about who's out patrolling more than anybody in areas, nighttime areas. Child runs away. Child is out, you know, and wanders off. Who has the highest probability of coming across one? You know, if there's officers that are involved in this, could that not be a way that they target too? You don't know. Could they give a call and say, hey, to somebody else that they're involved in some kind of ring-in? You don't know. The possibilities are endless. And when they come on a call, say to your house, if something happens, somebody tried to break in, or somebody stole something from you, and they're getting a report, and they see a child that they want their target, you know, therefore target after that. That's scary.
I'm going to replace the pin message at the top.
Hey, Bubs. Good night. Sorry. This is important. I'm glad thank you guys for joining us tonight, though. What were you going to say, babe?
I replaced the pin message at the top of that website.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. If anybody else wants to call in, they can. I'm going to keep.
Like what she was saying, I want to point this out. Like she was saying, as far as sharing your kids on social media and stuff, how many of these that we have covered now throughout this case have been using some form of social media?
Right. Every one of them.
Right. So that's a very good thing to not share your kids.
This is Cam.
Hey,
Hello.
yeah,
How are you?
I'm good. This is Miss Hippie.
Oh, hi, Miss Hippie.
How are you?
Pretty good. I think we're picking up some background.
All right. Okay, let me stop this. Okay. So, is that better? Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Okay, good. Wow, man, y'all are giving out a lot of information that there's a lot to wrap your head around, right?
Yes, it's a ton. And it's
Oh
it's
my
hard
God.
it's hard to not it's hard to talk about this. And with I know a lot of people said, well, when it involves children, yeah, you shouldn't screen names. Well, the people that are family ties to these people that I'm bringing up, I'm just wanting to be careful because I don't want to put, unless they are directly involved with it.
I totally understand that. I mean, you guys always, you try to keep it real, but you're doing great.
Thank you.
What I want to say is this, all of, I want you guys to also preach that this has to go from parents to kids at a young age about it's not stranger danger anymore. It's like people that people that your kids are around,
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I think, yeah, and I think you guys need to, say that more also. But man, you guys are doing a great job, and you're giving a lot of information out. I would be scared to give all of this information out, to be honest.
It is. It is scary.
You're so close. You're so close.
Exactly. We're very close to it, and it's like, and I just want to go on what you're saying. Like, I was very hesitant to bring out some of this stuff because when you're a voice for it, then therefore you make yourself a target. And but we just have to pray and believe that we're protected. I don't know how you believe, but I mean, I do believe strongly in that. I just but I know that this opportunity to be on here was given to be a voice for things that we can speak out against. And
right.
I don't know. I would feel that was, I guess, my internal battle there was, do I speak about it or not? Well, if I don't, then who's going to?
Well, I mean, I think everyone can see that, Cam, that you're having this internal battle, of things that you should put out or can put out, or, everyone can see. Allie, you too, but you guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
And keep on keeping on. That's what I want to say. But also, I want you guys to do some lives about what to teach your kids. I mean, my mom taught me growing up about, and this is like back in the 60s, about things that a kidnapper would do. She was like, they will rip your fingernails off.
Yeah.
Well, she had a bad. So, and that made me super, vigilant is the word, I guess, I think.
Yeah.
So, I was almost kidnapped. I was in the 2nd grade, standing outside of school, waiting for her, to come up to pick me up. And a man pulled up in a black Cadillac. I'll never forget what he looked like, or the car. And he was like, hey, get in. Your mom told me to pick you up. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, hell no, she did not. I'm like, And I ran back in the office, and she was late. I was the only one standing out there, but I knew from her telling me,
Yeah, your mom, so
things that.
Was she teaching you awareness and when it potential?
Yes,
good.
That's awareness.
That's right.
That's just, that's what she taught me. And I was like, no, you are not here to pick me up.
That's good. And that's what we taught our kids from the get-go. It's like, you stay within this area, you don't get out of, even as they're getting older, I'm like, you still don't go out of our sight. You stay right beside us. If I can't see you, if you can't see me, I can't see you. And I want them pretty much, I keep them to my side. Like that's
Yes.
it. And I will, I hope that they, even at school, we're like, I don't care if somebody comes to talk to you at school, you tell them immediately, I want to speak to my parents before anything. I don't care who they say they are.
Well, I had a talk with my daughter today. Actually, you didn't know about it.
Go ahead.
I had a talk with their daughter.
Like 70s, and now it's even worse. I mean, these kids are given, we teach our kids not to talk to strangers, but here's an iPad or an iPhone, and you can talk to anybody you want to. It just seems so crazy to me. And right, I'm just like, you're giving them access to millions of people,
Yeah.
And so much more needs to be concentrated on that, I think. And I don't know. I can blabber on, but
no, that's okay. Allie was getting ready to say something.
That's a very good point. And also the thing is now, and this is something that I had a talk with my daughter today about, because we were talking about summer. She asked me about summer. And so we were talking, and she said, it's a good thing. I don't remember how she put it. At first she said, it's a good thing that I'm never going to get lost. And then she changed it and she said, well, I hope that I never get lost. And I told her, I said, the thing about it is, and this is what's scary, because we always do teach our kids to stay away from strangers, don't talk to strangers, don't go with strangers. But we've seen that a lot of abductions happen by people who know the children. And
exactly. Stranger people we know.
Yeah.
So I had to talk with her, and I said, even if it's somebody that you have to make sure that you never go with anybody unless you know that mommy and daddy are right there and say that, yes, you can go with that person. And so we always, if something happens and like my mom or my mother-in-law have to pick the kids up from school, we always call the school beforehand and let them know. And so that's one thing that I think is a good thing to do. That way that at least your children do know that they have permission to go with that person, because nowadays you just don't know.
Yeah. And also he had a code word, picture, blanket, box, moon, you know what I mean? We had a code word. If they don't know the code word, I mean, first of all,
that's a good point.
Natasha told us about that months ago.
But we had a code word. If they didn't know the code word, and I'll tell you another thing, and I always told my kids, because of my mom, she grew up rough. So, I'm sorry. If you want me to let you go, tell me.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine. I was telling Allie to chat back to somebody.
So sorry.
I'm so sorry.
But yeah, the code word works. I mean, telling your kids, being totally honest with your kids about things that can happen works. Not giving an iPhone to your little kid works.
Yeah.
You can't say don't talk to strangers and then give them
these games that they play on their tablet. If your children have tablets, if they get involved in playing any games that like Roblox or anything like that, it gives them the ability to be able to chat with people if you don't turn it off.
You would have to monitor every minute that they play to see what's going on. It's freaking crazy. My son is 29 years old.
he had somebody come up to him in a big store and ask him, to model. He is very nice looking. He's very tall, he's slim. He could be a model. Okay. Anyway, yeah. My son, he was like, the guy handed him a card. It looked like official and everything like that. All my son told him was his Instagram. The guy started asking for pictures of him in every angle in underwear.
Tell her I'll drop the link for her. Oh my gosh.
My son's like, dude, I will meet you at the store that I met you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And break your neck.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's just so scary. It's crazy.
There is actually, there's somebody in our chat right now that said she was wanted to tell her story about, I think she said sold into this, as a child. And that's just insane. I mean, it's everywhere. People, it's any chat, any discussion that you bring up about this stuff, somebody has, that's scary. There should not be this many people that know about this, and that it's not a more widely talked about thing from the mainstream media. That's heartbreaking. It is.
I mean, you have to educate your kids on this. You have to educate your kids on this, and this is what's happening. I mean, it's been happening since like way back, when. But had my mom not told me what she told me, I probably would have gotten in his car and rolled on and, been buried somewhere, when I was in the 2nd grade.
Gosh.
You have to educate your kids on this.
You do.
You have to.
100%. Thank you so much. And I'm going to take your idea. Yeah, I will definitely do some lives about, protection and what parents can do. Thank you.
Yeah. That's some real general awareness. That's what you guys should really do. And you guys are doing a great job. I appreciate it. It's a lot to take in. I'm sorry I'm losing my voice.
No, it's okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You have a great night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Miss Hippie, for calling in. Okay, so Inquisitive Jade, I'll drop the link for you. Yeah, that way it'll be more clear. Let me do that real quick.
While we're waiting on that, so another thing, that with the code word for picking your child up from school, that's a very good idea, because I don't know if a lot of people have realized exactly what happened in the Carly Trent case, because Gary Simpson was her uncle, and that was known. I believe a lot of people know that he's the one that ended up kidnapping her. Him and his wife actually had custody of Carly right before this happened. And so he obviously could go and pick Carly up from school and, whatever. Well, something happened and it fell through the cracks to where whenever she went back to her parents, DCS did not alert the school that Gary and his wife were no longer her legal custodians. And he ended up coming and picking her up from school. And that's how he kidnapped her. So it's scary.
It is scary. And who really is, if that is the top of your mind when you get custody back, who think, you
right.
probably forgot to take that name off the list.
Well, I'm very torn about that with that case, because that's a very odd case. And if you guys haven't looked into it more thoroughly than what we've talked about on here, I think it's worth everybody to go and check it out, because it's very, very odd.
Bonnie Lambert said there's an echo. Is there still? There shouldn't be an echo at all, because there's nothing on, let me see. Yeah, I'm not sure about all that either, cat lover. Look, I think there's more to that case than meets the eye.
Yeah,
I really do.
absolutely.
Inquisitive Jade, I dropped the link. If you got it, I'd like you to come up and talk with us if you want. You don't have to have your camera on or anything.
Lori Kennedy said if the Wells had internet, which they did,
They
and
did.
the boys played games and outsiders saw Summer in the background, or they were communicating that they had they had a 5-year-old sister. Not only that, but we've seen how much Candace posted her children on social media. So even just with her posting pictures, it's scary. And we are guilty of, we've
somebody
posted
said
pictures.
the video of her dancing with the barrel in it, her tag was right there. Let me see who this is. This is Cam and Allie cracking cases.
Hey, this is Inquisitive Jade.
Oh, hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Would you rather call than do the link?
Yeah, just because there's a storm going on here and I only have data. I don't have Wi-Fi.
That's completely fine. Whatever works for you.
Yeah. I just start off with just saying trigger warning. So
yeah, I got it real big on the screen. Yeah, it's trigger warning, everybody.
Put it a lot.
I will.
This is a really difficult topic because a lot of the advice that is given is really good, but when it's a family member, this sells you into a pedophile ring. It's completely who warned you, right? Like, it was my father that he is the one that
oh my
started
gosh.
me off at 3 years old.
I'm so sorry. First of all, listen, guys.
So sorry.
I'll say this again, mods too. If you don't care, put trigger warning in the chat. I've got it going across the bottom in big letters there. This is probably very hard for her to speak about, and I appreciate you feeling comfortable enough to talk on here about it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you got the floor.
It's important, I think. It's hard. My father has now passed away, and when he died, I inherited the photographs and videotapes, unfortunately. And I mean, he had started off with, I'm so sorry, I'm going to trigger everybody. He started off like child pee with me when I was only 6 weeks old.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's crazy. It was absolutely insane to find that, and then videotapes of me being so young and sold to his friends in parties. And then from there, when I was in my early teens, I passed me off to a very prominent person in our community from where I live. I live in Manitoba, Canada. And he ran a ring here in Manitoba, in Ontario, I believe, Montreal, New York, and in the Bahamas for the past 2 years. And I don't know how many of you guys heard about him, because his name is Peter Nygaard.
Yeah, I just watched.
We literally just watched something on him.
Did you?
Yeah,
yes.
It's called Surviving Peter Nygaard.
Yes.
Wow.
And that was the man I was given to.
Oh my gosh.
My father gave me to him. So, and he, if you guys have ever learned about it, then you know he's paid off like high officials, police.
Yeah.
And like they were just silent. Like nobody could go to anybody to speak up. And it's really frustrating right now because he is getting actually, probably people come forward and he's getting charged in the Bahamas, and I believe he was supposed to be extradited to the United States after he
was arrested in Canada, wasn't he? He was being held in Canada as of.
Yeah, he's in Manitoba, that's where I live right now. He's being held here. But the freaking thing that pisses me off so much is that all these other places, these people are allowed to bring him to court and charge him, and they will not
press charges against him here in Manitoba for any of the women that have come forward.
Oh
None
my
of them.
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
That's how far the influence goes. Like,
That's
you know, I know
ridiculous.
that it wasn't just, there were police officers involved, very high up businessmen, people in politics, you know, mayor. It was just bought and whatever. And it's very frustrating right now because that influence has lasted this long that even people now in my province cannot get justice. I mean, I hope he's held accountable everywhere else, but it's really crappy.
Yeah.
But you know, we can tell our children who to watch out for and who the boogeyman is, and sometimes it's your own freaking parent. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how we warn people about that, and I don't know.
Well, people think too that just because a child is raised like in a privileged lifestyle, or their parents are well off, that it doesn't happen. But that's where the key places are that, like, the, you know, if people don't know, I can't say the whole word, but it's called SRA. You know, yeah, and it's to do with with beliefs. It's, I don't know how to explain it for people that are in here. So it's satanic ritual abuse is what that is. And you know, that happens in a lot of homes, and a lot of children grow up because they have they target children that have the ability to what's it called, to, what if I say it all the time, they can shut it off mentally. Hold on. Disassociate. Yeah. They look for that, and they try to target children that can do that, and that's where they go into their brainwashing and the things that lead them to carry on those practices with their children. It's insane.
You know, you bring up a good point, and I hate always bringing this up because it's such a controversial topic, but I actually have dissociative identity disorder. I mean, I've been in therapy for a long time, and I don't dissociate as much anymore unless I'm highly, highly triggered or stressed. But dissociation was a big part of my coping mechanism growing up, and absolutely they take advantage of that.
Yeah.
They absolutely do.
I'm so sorry. You know
what, Cam, you were so inspiring when you shared your story, and I just sat there crying, and my heart goes out to you too. It's like, this shouldn't be happening to any child anywhere. None of this crap shouldn't be put on any child's back. And I don't know what you're uncovering right now, and I know it's scary, but I really applaud both of you for your courage and
thank you so much.
The darkness into the light, whatever. But I hope it leads somewhere.
I do too, and I really do. I do, and I hope that it doesn't just fall on deaf ears, because I think this, you know, with what's happened, there's a reason to why, when, you know, Summer went missing, that all this stuff is being brought out into the open now, with leading to these sheriff's departments that are right there in that area. And all, you know, there's too many now. You would think that, you know, just one is too many, but now we're up to 4.
You're on to something.
I hope so. I really do.
But it's going to be hard. It's like, if people are paid off, or people higher up are involved, I mean, you know, then other people have something over their heads and they won't talk and whatnot. But you know, it's a fight. It's a battle worth fighting.
It is. And you know, if people aren't familiar with what you were saying, I don't want to bring it up again, but Peter Nygaard, this went on for how many years? Decades.
It started in Manitoba. Like, he started getting the complaints were started in the 60s.
Yeah. And
so by the time I was in it was like the early 80s. So, and all his charges have kind of disappeared. Like, they're trying to investigate now into the police in Manitoba, because this doesn't make any sense why nobody's allowed to charge him with his crime that he clearly did. I mean,
Right. And he even sought out places where he could go with his money. If y'all aren't familiar with who he is a fashion designer, and he made this tons of money, and he went to the Bahamas because of I guess the police, he could pay off easily the government not to look at him. He set up this whole little, it was almost like a
compound, basically.
It's a compound, but it was like it was like a amusement park for it. Had big awful.
Yeah, they referred to him as like the Canadian Jeffrey Epstein, basically. What they refer to him as.
But he had, he had his fingers into. He was paying into these, like, the children. I can't think of what the name of it is. It's almost like it's like the orphanage down there. He was really involved in that in the Bahamas, and they would come to his place. I mean, it's terrible. And there's people. If y'all haven't seen that documentary about it, there's people speaking out that was his staff there, and it goes as far as of him having what he called pamper parties for
parties where he would have all of these women from the island come in, and he would have people giving them massages and pedicures, manicures, all sorts of stuff. And people were aware, like, it was being talked about what was going on there, but people were still going, and he was getting as many as 2 to 3 victims per party that they talked about, at least.
Disgusting.
It's really awful.
I don't mean to speak about it in detail, but thank you for bringing that up, because that's how much corruption goes with people with lots of money. They pay off police, they pay off government. He helped a president of the Bahamas get elected, therefore to be able to hide everything he was doing. So
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, he funded one of the people that actually ended up winning the election down there. So who knows how deep and terrible it really goes.
Right.
That's what they said. I think there's almost isn't there over 100 women so far that have come forward? I think
so. Yeah.
I'm sure the victims that aren't coming forward, myself included, and I can't put myself through all that, but it seems like there's no point in my province. But I'm sure that there is way more than just 100 victims. That's just.
They said they estimated thousands.
Yeah. Somebody on that documentary said
thousands, yeah.
And that's terrifying.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because he started in the late 60s, so yeah, it would be in the thousands.
So
and very cruel person. Like, not just, I mean, I shouldn't say not just the R word. It's just very, very cruel.
Yes.
Very cruel person. Yeah, I'm surprised you guys heard about that. I'm actually glad I mentioned it then.
Honest to goodness, that was God the other day.
Haven't heard of him.
Yeah, I did. And that's what I would say. What you just said.
I said, honest to goodness. Now with you calling, that was just God.
We woke up with that playing at the documentary, and I was like, "Start that over."
And we sat and watched every bit of it. And
that's so weird.
Yeah.
He even listened to this. So he was purposely. This is how far it goes in that documentary. He was purposely impregnating some of these women to then, because he started his own business investing in stem cell research.
Because he was trying to basically live forever
to keep on doing this. And he was, then when they would get pregnant, he was trying to fund their abortions, and then so they could have the stem cells.
And he was injecting himself with the stem cells from those abortions.
It's saved.
Oh my God. Yeah, he looks like a frail old man now, but I mean, right before he was arrested, he is you can tell he's very cocky and very
right.
I hope he's getting his ass whipped in jail.
Same. I
don't know.
But the sad thing about it is they will put those kind of people in protective custody,
right,
where they can't be touched, and that's
they should not do that.
They should. And the more harsh of a penalty they start giving to these people, the more people, well, because now the way it is, and it's disgusting, they get slapped on the wrist and they get out before anybody else. So they barely get sentences. Oh, they have to register or whatever. But how many people are really looking at those registry lists?
Yeah.
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 It's
I mean,
terrible.
in his case, I hope he goes away for a long time, wherever the hell I don't know where the heck he's going to end up, because he's done this in multiple countries. So,
Right. Well, I pray that you and every single person, I know you said that you're not pursuing it, but I hope that in some way that you end up getting your closure with it, and that you end up getting, what's the word I'm looking for?
Peace.
Well, yeah, but there's another word I'm
it's
looking
hard.
for.
It's hard, and you probably know this, Cam. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't go. It stays, right? Like,
Yeah.
it kind of fades into the background, but it's something you carry with you forever.
Right.
Always. Yeah.
I've thought about, I should be forgiving and this and that. I can't get there.
Right.
I understand.
Forget it. I'm not even gonna try.
The way I've tried to put it is, I can't ever forgive the person. I've tried to forgive the sin, and that helps me to deal with it a little bit better. But even I have days, especially diving into this stuff, like I don't want to do it, but it's a lot.
This part was really, since you guys started talking about the pedophile. Sorry, I said the word.
It's okay.
The P ring. That's been very triggering for me, and that's what made me want to just like say something, like speak out and say, yes, this is real. This goes on. People are paid off. People are hushed. This go on for. Look at how long he got away for Peter Nygaard. Like, that's decades and decades and decades he got away with it.
Right.
Like,
people.
This happened.
Yeah, and people want to think that, just like with Epstein, the reason that I believe that people can think it's a conspiracy theory or what, but how does somebody that is protected and guarded inside of a jail get taken out like Epstein did? It's because that goes into deeper. There was a lot of people in high positions of power that were getting ready to be put on blast, and they took him out.
He didn't take himself out.
No, there's no way.
I don't believe that for a second. No.
I don't either. It's same with Peter Nygaard too. I guarantee you that there's a lot of people that are freaking out right now.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Well, I think he's very guarded for some reason. Here in Manitoba, like I said, they're not pressing charges for any of the women that have come forward here in this province. This is where he started out. So,
and he still had ties. He
might be protected in that jail.
Yeah, very true. Thank you so much
thank you for having the courage, first of all, to come and talk about that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be like encouraging with you guys, because I know that this is really, really hard right to looking into, and somebody needs to just take that walk and bring light to this, and I just appreciate it so much.
Thank you. We appreciate you, and that's for the reason we are doing this, is for people like yourself and for other people to maybe, parents out there, to protect your children at all costs. There's so much. I think, like the one woman that called in that was talking about, she worked as a child advocacy. She's saying that, a lot of people were telling her, we don't want to hear about it. Dreamcatcher. Yeah, she said that she doesn't, a lot of people telling her not to post on her Facebook about the things, the world's bad enough. It's real, and it's not going away until we do something about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Nobody wants to hear about this stuff, but if we don't talk about it, people aren't going to know what to look for. And again, to watch out in your own family, and no matter how much you trust your partner, I know that's horrible to say, but you got to look for any kind of warning sign in your child, from, even if you trust I don't know.
I know where you're coming from.
But yeah, it's family, right? So, like, I don't know. It's more scary when it's family.
I mean, even like if it's like if even your parents, if there's somebody like your mother remarries after years, and even that, look into those people. Look into, because they're very slick with how they cover up their their past, or how they have a defense against ever being questioning about it. They put themselves in these positions of being involved with the church, or being involved with this, or being to where they will never be looked into until. So I mean, they're very calculated people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they groom the parents as much as they groom the children half
Yep.
the time. So,
Sure.
maybe they're the most charming person. Those are the ones to watch out for.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to pop up and just share my story a bit, and I'm glad you knew who I was talking about with Peter Nygaard.
Yeah.
Again. And just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Awesome work.
Yeah, we will. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, and
Thank
thank
you
you
so
for
much.
speaking out. We might email us, and we might do something more about this. And I thought about putting something together about Peter
Yeah.
Nygaard to spread awareness anyway. So
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Sure. Okay. Do you have what is your
It's
email?
crackingcases@gmail.com.
Is that is it cracking or kraken?
Kraken not with the G, no G.
Okay, crackingcases@gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay. I'll get in touch with you guys.
All right. Thank you again so much.
Thank you guys.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Have a good night.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's just that just shows you that the Lord is always.
Yeah.
We just watched that.
And when Kim
This
says
past
we
week.
literally, it was days ago, and we literally woke up to it playing on our Netflix. Was it Netflix?
Netflix. No, it was on Discovery Plus. Okay.
Yeah, Discovery Plus.
This is Cam and Allie.
Hello.
Hello?
So is this Cam?
Yeah, this is Cam.
Cam, I have never talked on a program before, but I just feel so compelled to talk to you.
Oh. You might have to, you got an echo in the back. You might have to turn down us in the background.
Okay.
It's
Let me do that.
okay.
There we go. Cam, you keep asking, you and Allie, what people can do. You are doing what can be done.
Thank you.
You are telling people and exposing people. And that is the only thing. Cam, I am 70 years old, and I have never said this before. I had 10 brothers and sisters. And if somebody in school, a teacher, a physician, someone would have said to me, has anyone touched you? Has anyone done anything to you? You can't know what you don't know, Allie.
That's right.
And if somebody would have asked me, maybe my grandfather, the taste of whiskey and chewing tobacco going down my throat at 3 and 4 years old.
Oh my gosh.
It was not a big deal because you don't know.
Yeah.
So you ask, how can we stop this? We have to change the laws.
That's right.
And it is a big task because you were talking about the government, and those are not conspiracies.
No, they're not.
It is the people in power that are allowing it to continue.
It's true.
It is worldwide. And by keeping on talking about it, do you think if Summer would have made it to kindergarten and they would have had a class on proper touching, things that were wrong and things that were right, maybe this little girl would have understood that what was happening to her was wrong.
Right.
I have no doubt that, to me, in my opinion, this whole thing started
because they knew CPS was coming. And they knew if they did any kind of a physical observation of Summer, they would have known that she had been SA'd.
Right.
And then not only the mom and dad, but whatever ring was going on in that holler, they all would have been exposed.
It's funny that the church that they were going to just started the teaching of improper touch and stuff, and what happens when a child, the drills for abduction. It's in 2021. They just started that.
Yes.
And that
Jeez.
probably a few months right before she goes missing.
Yeah.
Well, and don't we know that the churches, denominational churches, are one of the biggest culprits?
Yes.
We had Catholic, the Catholic institutions, Presbyterian, Baptist. The government was paying them to house Native Americans, tear them apart, put them in boarding schools, and they were SAing them. They were beating them. They were starving them.
Golly.
And the government was paying them.
Yeah.
This is not a conspiracy. These are documents that I have read out of Congress.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, and then I go right back to what you said. Allie said, what can we do? You are doing it. And I say, I just have goosebumps. Because like I said, had I known then, but when you're living a life and you don't know what you don't know that it's wrong.
It's true.
It's true.
And it will take a lot of work. Can you imagine when you go to a doctor now, it is just a common thread in the whole United States. When you state your pain, you state it from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
Well, what if it was standard that the very doctor who may be doing that kind of stuff had to look in the eye and document to this child, have you ever been touched?
Yeah.
But that kind of thing is long down the road.
Very true.
But again, by you being able to talk about this, to expose it, to make people realize, not only is it in your town, it's in your block. It may even be in your home.
Yeah.
And open your eyes and save your children.
It's true. It's true.
When my grandchildren come to my house, or when they were smaller, I probably didn't sleep the whole weekend just because I had one eye on the door.
Right.
My son came and built a fence, a 6-foot fence, because we knew there was a peeping Tom that lived on the other side of the fence. And I could not let my grandchildren go outside.
And what's scary too is like, where I grew up here, in Virginia, like it's small town, but we were always, the neighbor across the road, I was always talking to. He was an elderly man. I would go talk to him every day. I would go talk to people, and I was just blessed in that way to not ever have that happen. But my dad just thought, dropped us off somewhere till he could run down the road for a minute, and that's what happened. And that's when it happened, from somebody that he would least expect. And when by the time he come back to pick us up, we've been scared not to say anything, don't talk about it. And you don't. And then as you get older, then you bring it up. And, like I said on the other, parents, be careful before you say, hey, you're lying to your kids, because that'll scare them from ever saying anything about it again. Like, well, I won't be believed anyway.
Exactly. I'll never forget my grandmother saying to her husband, now, Charlie, you stay away from those girls, but not doing anything about it. Yeah. But that was back then. That was their way of contraception. As twisted as that sounds, they didn't want to get pregnant, so they went out. The men went out and either essayed family or other people. That's how twisted it was. But we're in an age now where we all have to be educated, and you and Allie are educating.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I don't watch a lot of the, what do you call them? A lot of the sites on summer.
Yeah.
I do, but I watch the ones. I like facts. I like facts.
Thank you.
And yes, and also, I do believe that your hearts are absolutely in this.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if she's going to be found, but we got to get some government changes.
It's true.
We have to get some county changes. We have, sheriffs in towns that they're part of this.
Yeah, there needs to be an investigation on every department, especially those two that have been mentioned multiple times. An internal affairs investigation. How come this stuff wasn't found? The one that happened on the John Allen Biggins guy, that was found by Department of Homeland Security, and the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office fired him when they found out about the investigation. I'm glad they did so, but how did they not know this under their own department? That's.
And not only that, but every newspaper or news cast said, it made it sound like he had been off the force for a long time.
Yeah.
When he had just been fired because he was exposed. Yes, we something's got to go. Something's got to give. But like I said, I don't want to keep all of this going, but please just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. That's encouraging. Thank you.
Absolutely. You two are part of why we should be watching these shows.
Oh, thank you.
We have a child right now that is running parallel. I'm in the state of Washington, and we have a little 5-year-old girl who is missing, and it was her parents. There's just no doubt about it, but they won't give it up. They won't give it up. And
but thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate it. Guys, yeah, this has been awesome. I didn't know it was going to go this way tonight, but I'm glad it did. Thank you for the strength that everybody showed by calling in and telling their story.
Whoa.
What?
Okay, is it better now? I think it's better now.
What happened?
It went all crazy and it was staticky and.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm trying to look.
That was weird.
It's better than that was crazy. What? See, that's what I'm saying. You speak out about stuff, you get interference or something. It's not the first time something like that's happened. They said it's better now.
Yeah, it is.
Look at my screen. Look, I turned it on to see what it would do.
I don't know what happened.
That's crazy. Hold on a second. Let me see. Audio. Wow. That was weird.
It was, because whenever I seen it in the chat, I turned it up, and I mean, it was real weird.
I fixed that right there. Golly. That was crazy interference. Look, that's what every time we start talking about something that might be. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
anything that might be important, or it might be, then something like that happens. It's insane. I don't know.
Because the devil don't want you to go against things that are of him.
That's true. Very true. They said it did. It sounded like a scanner. People said.
That's crazy.
That is scary. That's right. Pray right now. Diane House of Feds. Police radios to me is what that said. Yeah, y'all just pray. That's crazy. I don't know what's going on. I know that expose it. I don't know. You've
That's what
seen.
We're gonna keep doing.
Yeah, I got to keep praying. You see these things that they've even, like, when people speak out about stuff and stuff, they plant things on them, and they do things to them. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
It's scary. Yeah. True. That's scary to me. Anyway, I guess we'll call it. People said definitely sounded like a scanner interference. I don't know. Yeah, just pray for protection. Pray for protection over us. Pray for protection over the people that speak out about this, that people have. I'm going to pray right now because that's what it needs to happen. Dear Lord, we ask for protection. We ask for your 100%, your angels to guard this home, our children, the people that spoke out about this, the people who are trying to have a voice about things like this. Lord, we pray that we rebuke it in your mighty name, that it cannot touch us, that it does not live here, cannot live here, and will never belong here. Lord, thank you for everything you do in our lives. We ask for answers in Summer's case. We ask for answers in Michael Vaughn's case and every other child that doesn't get the media attention that they deserve. God, we ask for protection over our entire families, and Lord, that you bring whatever is hiding in the dark to light with these monsters. Lord, thank you for everything you do in our life. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for tonight. You know what's weird that happened? I turned my VPN off to be able to help the stream. So, and I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, probably should not.
No.
It was just weird though, because how like her call like went out all of a sudden,
And you could tell she was talking.
Yeah,
here.
it was still showing the like bubble around their picture moving, but we couldn't hear nothing. I don't know if y'all could hear anything.
They could hear. They said it sounded like interference. And can you see me? Yeah, Beth Ball, I can see you.
But then all of a sudden, it just started doing that. That's weird.
Yeah, I couldn't hear nothing, but they could hear the scanner. I couldn't hear it over here. That's weird. All right, guys. I guess that's it for us tonight. I'm going to call it quits right there. Remember, at the end of the day, everybody wants justice.
But justice doesn't have to be carried out with hate.
Thank you again to everybody who called in. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being a part of this channel. Till next time, keep on cracking. God bless.
See ya.
If I can get out of here. Bye, guys.